which is always when the government takes away your fundamental freedoms, they always use an emergency to do it. I'm sorry, that's not the extremist view. That's the conservative position. And wouldn't it be great if a conservative would take it?
If I went back in time 2 years ago, 2019, and I got a future glimpse of our Rebel News store, and I saw a T-shirt with no context, and it said "Save the Pastors," that's what I would assume. Is this a Hong Kong initiative? Something in North Korea, Syria? You know, Christian pastors being rounded up and going to jail? But no, yeah. Canada, and of all places in Canada, Alberta. You know, the home of Jason Kenney, who was once a champion of religious freedom in the Stephen Harper government as an MP. This is how surreal this is to me, Sheila.
Well, and, you know, I see a lot of people saying, oh, these men are doing it for attention. They could not be more different. They absolutely, all three men, James Coates, Tim Stevens, and Art Pawlowski, they could not be more different. Yeah. Different faith practices, different faith backgrounds, and they're all compelled to defy the laws of man to be obedient to God. They all have, you know, different interpretations of the Bible, and it doesn't matter their style, because, you know, there are people out there who say, I don't like Pastor Art's style. He said this about that 5 years ago. Okay, great. But what does that have to do with locking him up because he didn't turn people away? People say, you know, like, I don't like James Coates. He's doing it for attention. I've met James. I've talked to him a fair bit. Not even. This is not what he asked for. This is not but it's something that he found himself faced with. And Tim Stevens, he's a bookish Baptist minister. I mean, again, these men could not be more different. But that saved none of them from the wrath of the government.
You're absolutely right. These men are not publicity hounds, Sheila, which is not to say that this doesn't happen in this business. I mean, I always think of, you know, Ashley Madison, it's a website that facilitates extramarital affairs. And usually around January, they make a pitch to the NFL and whoever's carrying the Super Bowl. They want to buy an ad. And of course, they're turned down. They're not interested in them being an advertiser. So what Ashley Madison does is put out a press release, and they, in effect, get millions of dollars of free publicity going, oh, boo-hoo, the mean old NFL and NBC won't run our ad. They know ahead of time they're not going to get that ad space. In fact, my suggestion to the NFL is to say, okay, it's $4 million for 30 seconds. Can we have your check? Call their bluff. But what I'm getting at, Sheila, there are those characters in this business that deliberately do something, whether, the example I gave, or breaking the law, just because they want the publicity. But that's not these gentlemen at all. They just want to practice their religion in peace. They never set out for this. They never, as the old Bruce Springsteen lyric goes, they didn't go down to the bar wearing trouble on their shirts. The trouble came to them. And the fact that the head troublemaker is Premier Kenney, Sheila, this is just so embarrassing at the end of the day.
It is embarrassing, and it's also embarrassing to see the people who are defending him from within his own government. I saw that Ben Harper, Stephen Harper's son, who now works for Jason Kenney, has basically called us clickbait and extremists. Well, you know what? Whatever. But is Josh Hawley an extremist? Is Scott Walker literally the most bland Republican money can buy? Is he an extremist now because he's concerned about what's happening here in Alberta? I mean, maybe the extremist phone call friend is coming from inside the house. And I like Ben. I've defended Ben from attacks from the left before. I think, like if your dad was the prime minister and you naturally, I mean, his career trajectory took him into Jason Kenney's office. That makes perfect sense to me. But like I said, maybe that extremist phone call is coming from inside the house because I'm not the one locking up pastors. Exactly. I'm not the one justifying 35 days in jail for Pastor James Coates, keeping the church from a congregation for 90 days, driving Christian congregations underground, arresting pastors on Calgary freeways, and arresting Tim Stevens in front of his children twice, not once, but twice. Sorry, but that's the extremist. Defending religious freedom from the government during an emergency, which is always when the government takes away your fundamental freedoms. They always use an emergency to do it. I'm sorry, that's not the extremist view. That's the conservative position. And wouldn't it be great if a conservative would take it? Oh, hi, friends. What you just saw there is a clip from our Rebel News daily live stream show. It's fun, it's fast, and it's completely unscripted, so you never really know what you're going to get. Just go to rebelnews.com/livestream